Happy 2022. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Simon, and here we speak, we talk, we help each other discover true selves that we may inspire others to do the things that inspire them. Of course, the African way. But today, I've brought you 5 books that you'll need for a successful 2022. Yes, the 5 books that I believe are going to add to your life this year, 2022. But make sure you watch till the end, because book number 5 is my greatest go-to. Book number 5, you must get it, and I believe it's going to change your life tremendously. Without further ado, book number 1 that I would recommend to you is called Atomic Habits by a chap called James Clear. Now, I know it's the new year, and oftenly as the culture is, people set goals, people set resolutions, people set targets, strategies, tips and tricks, name it. But I can guarantee you, after you read this book, let me tell you something, achieving most of your goals will become a little bit easy. Now, this book focuses on systems that lead us to the goals. Oftentimes we set goals, but we forget about systems, or we forget about how we are going to achieve. We forget about setting how we are going to achieve these goals. This book focuses on that. I'll give you a typical example. If your goal is to be an investor in this year, or if your goal is to lose weight this year, it is also important to set systems to your goals. For example, small habits of saving in the long run will guarantee you enough money to invest. Exercising 10 minutes in a day will compound to losing weight in the long run. You get what I mean? Now, this book was recommended to me by a friend of mine called Ruth Navisere. We share a portion of interest, and she shared this book to me last year at a point where I was in a dilemma. I was confused. I was at a place where I'm like, I'm growing, but I'm not seeing results. And I'm like, wow, time is not on my side. I am not seeing results. And she told me, there is this book that I've been reading. I believe it will help you. Maybe you just need to set systems that are going to lead to your goals. It's actually, James Clear says in this book that 1% better for a year will make you 365% better. And the reverse is true. Get this book. Book number 2 that I'm recommending to you is called The Greatness Guy by a chap called Robin Sharma. Most of you, most people call him the monk that sold his Ferrari, something like that. But this book was recommended to me by one of my mentors. She's called Flavia Tumusime. And boy, this book is interesting. It is simple, it is relatable, and it is diversified. He talks about a lot of things, but in a simple way, in brief book chapters that when implemented, man, those things can change your life. There's actually a chapter in this book that is called Drink Coffee with Gandhi, but I changed it to Drink Coffee with Bill Gates. Now, Robin was sharing of how reading is one of the best disciplines to stay on your game and at your highest. He says it's about having a deeper conversation with the author. He said that reading a book from someone you respect allows some of their brilliancy to rub off on you. Now, a mind that is stretched with a new idea will never return to its original dimensions. And in the book, he says that all it takes is one idea discovered in a single book to lift your life from one level to another and to revolutionize the way you see the world. Get that book, The Greatness Guy by Robin Sharma. Now, the 3rd book that I recommend to you is called When Am I Ready by a pastor called Konko. Now, this book is about relationships. Relationships. And I would recommend every young person to get it, because it will save you some time. It will save you actually a lot of time. Now, there is a girl. It's my secret with you. It's my secret with you. Yeah. There is a girl last year that I had started falling for. I'll get you right here. You know, it's not bad. It's actually human to fall for someone. But the question is, when? And this book was my go-to when I was in that dilemma, and made certain things clear when it comes to relationships the godly way. You get what I mean? And in the book, there is a quote that he says that maturity is not a function of age. Maturity is a function of responsibility, wisdom, and exposure. Just because you're 20 years and above doesn't mean that you're actually mature for relationships. You get what I mean? That is why it is very much important to get this book. It saved me a lot of time, because maybe I would have tried to connect wires, get the life, put it on the neutral, get it on the negative, then put it on the positive, and probably things would have short-circuited in the near future. But the book saved me a lot of time. So when it comes to relationships, this is the book I would recommend to. When am I ready? This is the book I would recommend you to go. So every young person, get this book. And I'm going to be linking all these channels down here. Flavia Tumsime's channel, it's going to be in the description. Even past Uncle's channel is going to be in the description. Now, the fourth book that I'm recommending to you this year that I want you to get is it's a book called Start With Why, or Leaders Start With Why, by a guy called Simon Sinek, my namesake. Now, Simon is a well-known businessman. He's a life coach. He's an author, best-selling author. Man, he does a lot of these things, business coaching and all those things. He coaches organizations and all those things. But in this book, he teaches people to start with why. And he says that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. And he sees that starting with why is what attracts people that believe what you believe. This is a message for organizations. If you're looking to start up a business, or if you're looking to start up something, you need this kind of mindset. You need to start with why, not to start with what, but why. In the book, he talks about the reason why a lot of people buy iPhones is because of what they believe about the world and how they want to be seen. He also talks about Dr. Martin Luther King, and the story of 1963, I believe, where 250,000 people, both white and black, showed up on the mall at Washington to hear Dr. King speak. No invitations were sent, there was no website to check the date, and Dr. King wasn't the only orator of the day. He wasn't the only civil rights activist of the day. In fact, some of his ideas were bad, that's according to his book, but he had a gift. He didn't go on telling people what needed to change in America. Dr. King told people what he believed, and he gave the I have a dream speech, not the I have a plan speech. So because he started with why, people that believed what he believed took it upon themselves to tell others about the event, and others and others and others, word of mouth, you get what I mean? So people campaigned and told each other about the event, and on the D-Day, 250,000 people showed up on the right time, in the right place, on the right date to hear Dr. King speak. And Simon says in his book that people follow those who lead, not because they have to, but because they want to. It is those that start with why that inspire us. Man, you need to get this book. You need to get this book, and I'll link Simon's channel in the description below. Now, the fifth book and the most fundamental book that I want you to read, that I want you to give time to read, it's the book called the Bible. Book number 5 is the Bible. Now, the Bible is a collection of 66 books that were written by different men and women of God at different instances of their lives, in different years, over decades and decades and thousands of years as this book was being compiled. So it's a compilation of all the different minds of different men and women of God. So I would recommend you to get this book, because almost everything is in there. There's a scripture that I love. It's in Joshua chapter number 1 verses 8. It says, "And this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. You shall meditate therein day and night, that you may observe to do all that is written in it. Then you will make your way prosperous, and you will have good success." It is that simple. If you want to make your way prosperous, keep this book in your mouth. What does it mean? Speak it and do whatever it says. If it says give, give. If it says love, love. If it says commune, commune. So there's a lot in this book that I want you to please get time, sit down. It's a big book, actually, 66 compilations, but I'm telling you, it's worth your while. Your life cannot remain the same when you get this book. If you that are having challenges with reading, I was there. Let me tell you something. But I can say I'm not at that place. I am somewhere. I'm not yet there, but I'm somewhere. I'm not down here. So I want to encourage you, just like James Clear said, if you can't get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 365% better. So what do I mean? Baby steps. If you can start with reading one page, then the next day you'll be like, let me read one chapter. Then when you get used to reading a chapter, then maybe you start reading 2 chapters in a week or 3 chapters in a week, or until you get to the level of reading a book in a week. Then that means you'll be reading 4 books in a month. That means by the end of the year, you'll have finished reading how many books? You do the math. So I want to encourage you to read. Just like Robin Sharma said, you just need one idea discovered in a book, and that will take your life onto a whole new level, and it will revolutionize the way you see the world. So I want to encourage us to read this year, 2022. Let us be informed, because the more informed you be, the more relevant you be. The more informed you get, the more relevant you are to your generation, to your peers, to the people around you, to your circles. And who doesn't want to be relevant? Nobody. So let us read. I'm going to be recommending more books as I get to discover more books. As for now, that is my library. It is that. I don't have a lot of hard copies. Most of the books that I have are in soft copies, but I would wish to get hard copies as well. So if you want to donate some hard copies, then I'm glad. I'm hopeful. I'm glad. I'm very much grateful. My WhatsApp number is in the description below. Yeah, we can talk and see how we can get the hard copies of the books, and we can even build a book club where we can share the books. You get what I mean? But otherwise, that's what I had for you today. God bless you, and I'm excited for what is in store for us this year, 2022. Simon Kine, God bless you. Speaking the African way.